Evening all, how we doing? Just another little review for you, and this time I've got the ZT Pro from Gizmo Angling. Now this product, since I put a post up on my page, is it's the first one that's actually sparked quite a lot of conversation and discussion and stuff. I've had a load of messages about it, loads of people asking loads of different stuff about it. And it has actually caused quite a stir, to be honest. And to be honest with you, rightly so. In my impressions to start with are that it is absolutely brilliant, and it is just totally blown my mind, to be honest, as far as sort of preparation goes, and efficiency and speed and the quality that you're getting from this in tying the actual hook lengths. So why did I get it then? It got me thinking a little bit, to be honest. So we pay a lot of money for our poles and our rods and this, that and the other, sort of a top end pole, £3,000 plus, top end rods, 300 quid plus. Yet we're using a hook tire. That's what, £4.99, some £3. It just doesn't make sense for to be sort of scrimping on the most important part of your rig that attaches everything to the most expensive part of your kit. So why shouldn't we sort of fork out a little bit of money to invest a little bit of quality in your hook lengths and stuff? And that is what you're getting. You're getting a completely quality bit of quality product at the end of using this this hook tire. So when I first ordered it then, it was sort of a turnaround time. I think at the minute you're waiting for about 7 days to get your product. Now I know in the early stages when they first got up and running and stuff, they had a bit of an issue with couriers and stuff, and stuff was getting damaged. But you know, Dennis, he sort of sorted that out. Anything that was damaged, he replaced it straight away. Which is bob on, really. They've since changed the couriers that they use now. I don't think they've had a problem since. When it arrived in the front door, then first things first, it was all, anything on here that could have got damaged was individually packaged and secured, just to reduce that risk. So all these handles, the head where your hook goes in, your hand wheel, everything that could have got damaged was all individually secured and packaged. It was then in a large box, sort of almost double the size really, with all bubble wrapped, everything kosher. It took a bit of effort getting into the package, to be honest. It was really good. You also get an instruction envelope, if you like, with it. You get a little brown envelope in the box, and that's just on how to use it, basically. What I will say is there's a few pictures in there, sort of like an idiot's guide, if you like, on how to use it and how the lines should be laid on the stuff. Now at the moment these are just like hand drawings that Dennis did, and to be honest with you, the pictures that he drew didn't do the product justice. Now, before anyone jumps on the bandwagon saying I'm not slagging him off and stuff like that, I've actually had a long conversation with Dennis the other night. I was on the phone for about 40 minutes to him, and I told him that straight away, and he completely agreed. But the amount of money that he's had to invest to get this sort of project off the ground is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to say how much it is. It is my business. If he wants to air that in public, that's entirely to him. But I'm not going to sort of give away like financial stuff. It's none of my business at all. But I was took back by the amount of money. So now he's sort of selling a few and stuff like that. He said he's going to get all those diagrams digitalised and all sorted out and all that sort of stuff. So then. With anything new, it takes a little bit of getting used to. You know, it took me a good few turns to get going. I'm on a sort of 10 hook lengths and I was away, sort of thing. But you know, it's like anything. We get a new mobile phone, don't we? And it takes a little bit of time to to get to grips with that, but we still sort of get them. My biggest concern when I bought this was, you know, some hook length boxes are different in measurements. They don't necessarily measure up to what they're saying in the tin. There's one out there, it says it's 6 inches, but actually it's about 5.5, and so on and so on. So my biggest concern and worry was, how can this then say it's going to provide a hook length for every single box? Well, you get an Allen key supplied with it, and this top cap on here, you pop that off and you can actually adjust this sort of drive shaft here, and relock it off depending on what hook length boxes you use. It takes a few goes, admittedly, you know, between your 6 inch and your between the two setups. I think they come like from the factory set up for like a Preston hook box. So if you use a Guru one and stuff like that, you just have to have a few turns to sort of get it going just to the right length. You don't get any line twist at all with this product, you know, so your hook lengths are always bob on every single time. And in terms of time it takes per hook length, you know, once you've got your loop tied and stuff, beforehand, without including your loop tying and stuff, you're looking at about, I think my world record so far is about 43 seconds. But that was me going sort of flat out, really concentrating on getting going as fast as you can, and that was absolutely perfect. I've done hook lengths from 0.075, the line diameter, to a size 20 Guru F1 maggot hook, and I managed to get 16 wraps of line around the shank of the hook now. If anyone can do that by hand, then I'm all ears. You know, that's a lot. Admittedly, you don't need that many for it to hold in place, but I just wanted to see how many I could get down there as a little bit of a test, really. I'm just going to do a bit of a demo for you now on how it works. I'm going to also, I'll do a close-up, so if anyone is interested in getting one, you'll be able to see how easy it is to use. But like I said, it does take a little bit of getting used to. But other than that, it's bob on. It is really retailing for 120 quid, plus a bit of postage on top of that. But for me, you know, like I said before, why scrimp on the most important part of your fishing, really, and that's your hook length. You know, if that goes, then it don't matter how expensive your pole is or how expensive your rod is or your reel or whatever, because you ain't got a fish on the end. So just have a think about that one. Right, I'll have a little go with it then, and just show you how to use it. First thing you do, both these arms move, just sort of for ease. Now it's best to have it on like a level sort of table, or I do it in the front room and on my coffee table, to be honest. So the first thing you do is you pull the left hand arm forward and you just open up the head where your hook will fit into. Now you just take your hook, I'm just doing it with just a big what is it, a size 12 extra strong Guru, and you just tighten it in. Now you'll have the hook pointing towards you, and just angle it in just slightly towards you, alright? And once that's done, you just push it back and switch over. Now on here you've got your little sort of hand wheel, if you like, and there's a little pin. You just take the loop off of your line, where I'll put it, here it is. You just take your loop and hook it onto, there's a little pin there, then you just put, if you want a 6 inch hook length, you'll just do one full rotation of this hand wheel. Now there is a little marker, sort of laser cut in there, and you just go one full rotation all the way around till you're back in line, alright? And it's as simple as that. That is your 6 inch hook length. If you want a 4 inch hook length, you don't do any turns at all, alright? Which is another bonus part of it, alright? You can get any size hook length just by the turn of a wheel. You then push that back down away from you. Okay, on the top of where your head is, where the hook gets held into, you've got two brass, there's one like plunger and there's like a brass disc, if you like. You then wrap the line around both, and then just pull it down slightly. Now the most important part when you start whipping is your first turn. Right, you've got to make sure that first turn is right flush up against the spade of the hook. Okay, so you just start gently turning, and once it catches in, you're away. So that's my first turn done. Now I'm just going to start whipping it down. All the way around. And I've lost count of turns, but it doesn't really matter, I can see I've got enough. Then push it underneath the head, you've got like another little plunger. If you push that up, wrap your excess line around, and then just let go. You can let go of it then, okay, and then you can just trim off that tag end, yeah? So here we go, snip. Okay, at this stage then, just wet your hook, push down on the rear plunger that you've wrapped your line around, and that'll release the excess line, okay? All we do is we turn this hand wheel, okay, and all that's doing is tightening down on your whipping on the shank of the hook. Okay, we then release on the wheel, on the head, and then that'll just free up the hook there. We take hold of the hook, push back up on that plunger underneath, undo your hand wheel, and then you've got a perfect 6-inch hook length. And it is as easy. Trim that off, and Bob's your uncle. A perfect 6-inch hook length. Absolutely bob on, and I know for a fact that'll fit perfectly in my box. I haven't got my box with me, but I'm just doing this as a bit of a demo anyway, so I'm not too fussed. I am going to do a close-up just so you can see that again. I get it was a little bit rushed, and you're probably not going to see the whole intricacies of it, if you like, but I will do another little video. If you're interested, you know, I think Matty Pilley, who is also sort of working on behalf of Gizmo. He's sort of selling them on for Dennis as well, I think. Or just give Dennis a message straight away, or get onto the Gizmo Angling. You can pay by card or online or whatever, and away you go. I'd honestly have a good think about having a look at these. I can't fault it. I've tied up, the other night I was watching the boxing, and before I knew it I'd tied up 50 odd hook lengths just sitting there watching the telly sort of thing. So to me it's just totally blown my mind really. Absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Right, that's it for now. I'll get another review up in the next couple of days. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much for all the questions about this. If you can, just give it a like and a share, and I'll be much appreciated. Cheers guys.